Today we ask, will the league title remain at Anfield, possibly the 18th championship for Liverpool? Or will it be Arsenal bringing the trophy to Highbury for the first time since 1971? Bobby Gould's Wimbledon hold the balance of power. He joins us live from Plough Lane. We look at the problems facing Manchester United as 3 defeats in a week leave them in the bottom half of the table. Well, also today we reveal the winners of these 2 trophies, Goal of the Season and Barclays Young Eagle. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Both of which we have never won, by the way.
That is true.
And not likely to.
Well, it is the end of the season, Jan, of course. It is time for trophies. And
yes, it is indeed,
We've got these 2 nice ones to hand
And it's
out.
our last programme, 40 weeks of St Greavesy. Seems more like 40 years, but never mind. That's how it goes.
Pass rather quickly, now, Jim.
Yes.
Right, now, as we reach the final Saturday of the league season, we're still not sure of the destiny of the Barclays League title. Arsenal are favourites. Their 5-point lead gives them the upper hand, but both sides must keep winning. For instance, defeat for Liverpool at Wimbledon this afternoon and a win for Arsenal against Derby mean the Gunners could clinch the title next Wednesday when they meet Wimbledon. Yet the intrigue could even continue until the 2 clubs clash at Anfield on Friday, May the 26th. Now, in midweek, Jim, Liverpool played Forest again, this time in the league, and it was decided by that incident
on a
there.
pen, yeah. It was a bit unfortunate to be sided on the pen, really, in because I fancied Forest would get a draw there.
Well, it's the old business of a forward tracking back. Franz Carr,
which is the first tackle he's made all season.
Burrows.
Good old Franz. There's no doubt about that it wasn't a penalty. The referee was... It was a penalty.
Oh, was it? It wasn't a penalty, yeah.
The referee was perfectly placed. Keeper was a bit unlucky not to get it, though.
He was.
But there you are.
But there you are, Liverpool get the goal, Jim, a bit of a battle, but they got the points to keep the challenge up. Now, Arsenal, on the other hand, went up to Middlesbrough last Saturday, and that was a tough place to go. And I gather it was a very tough match.
It was a tough game.
They scored. Martin Hayes comes on as a substitute.
That's
and
right.
With practically his first touch, knocks the ball in. So maybe things are going Arsenal's way.
Well, who knows? As you say, and it's still a long way to go, I think, in that one.
Right, well, this afternoon we welcome the Wimbledon manager, Bobby Gould, live from Plough Lane. He's a former Arsenal man, of course, and his side faced Liverpool today. Bobby, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You all right, Bob, boy?
Hi, Gracie, how are you?
All right, thanks, pal.
Bobby, are you aware that people might be saying, because that you're an ex-Arsenal man and Don Howe's an ex-Arsenal man, that you might be trying to do the business for Arsenal?
I think Don and I have been in the game too long for that, don't you,
Well,
Saint?
well, you think you've got more to do with just getting your own side winning?
Yes, we're very important for the team to do well this afternoon. We've had a super season. The Plads have responded to the difficult start that we had, and they've all gone on and done the job very, very professionally.
But it's amazing. It's amazing to think, Bob, that last year you stopped Liverpool doing the double by beating them at Wembley, and this afternoon, if you win and Arsenal win this afternoon, you could be preventing Liverpool doing a double again.
Well, it's actually 12 months to the day, isn't it, Saint? Since
Amazing.
Everybody was tipping us to get beaten, that we shouldn't be there, but we were there. We did ourselves justice on the day. But today, Liverpool have got to come here, take the challenge of Wimbledon on again, and Arsenal have got to do well against Derby, haven't they? It's a super game for the fans. It's a super day for football after all the tragedies that we've been through.
That's right.
It must be good for you, Bob, though, to know that the destiny of the championship lies in your hands somewhat.
Crazy, I like your haircut.
Yeah, isn't that smart? Well, what about a shirt? Does that qualify?
I think you're hedging your bets there with a bit of strip of red in, Greasy.
Yeah.
He's got his red tie on as well, Greasy, hasn't he? No, the circumstances are that the players have got to do the job. They're well aware of what Liverpool are about. They've been magnificent since the disruption in the season that we've had. And Arsenal have also responded. Their goal there against Middlesbrough was a typical Wimbledon goal, wasn't it? Out of the goalkeeper's hands
Yes.
and own tapped in. But Arsenal, I've got great respect for them because George has changed the system and also gone on to add some great results. And then we're in a situation of Kenny and his players going through horrendous and tremendous traumatic days, haven't they? And they've bounced back.
Have you been pleased with your own performances this year, Bob? It's been a good season for you, really, hasn't it?
It could have been a lot better, and it could have been a lot worse. After last season's disruption, we weathered the storm, we stabilised the ship, and the players have responded magnificently. You know, they've got an end of the season that they couldn't wish for. Four years ago, nobody would have ever thought we'd have beaten Liverpool in the FA Cup.
You say they've responded magnificently, but you're sending them on tour to Sierra Leone, mate. What's going on?
Well, it's an opportunity that came late on in the day. Sheffield Wednesday had to pull out, and the British Council gave us the opportunity to go Sierra Leone, and the lads are looking forward to it.
You're not trying to get fashion new president out there, or what, are you?
Well, he's been with enough high-ranking officials this week. We're training him for it anyway, Jim.
Yeah.
Maybe Sierra Leone haven't heard of Wimbledon, Bobby. That's why you've been invited there.
I think everybody's heard of it as after last year's FA Cup win, St.
That's true.
All right, Bobby, and good luck anyway.
Thanks for joining us, Bob.
Just thanks ever so much, and thanks for what you two have done for British football this year. It's been magnificent.
Bobby, thank you very much. The cheque's on its way, pal.
Thanks, Greasy. Thanks, Saint.
Bye. OK, now the relegation struggle is guaranteed a nail-biting afternoon for 5 clubs. Charlton are safe, Newcastle are down, but any 2 of the others could join them. Sheffield Wednesday against Middlesbrough is certainly a game you should steer clear of if you're of a nervous disposition. Martin Tyler looks at this week's games at the bottom of the table.
On Tuesday night, league football returned to Hillsborough and relegation worries returned for Sheffield Wednesday. Alan Dickens at the forefront of West Ham's 4th consecutive victory. The first goal here from Dickens to follow his winner against Luton last Saturday. Frank McAvenny injured, but Leroy Rossignol fit again. And rising to the occasion here, West Ham refusing to accept relegation, which for so long has seemed inevitable. Charlton, though, are safe. Lenny Lawrence picked Andy Jones to start a league game for the first time for 14 months. The Welsh international responded against Derby with a fine header a minute before half-time. In the second half, Steve Mackenzie's free kick pushed out by Peter Shilton, only for Peter Shirtliff to pounce. Shirtliff, the hero of Charlton's playoff survival 2 years ago. Last year, appointed Chelsea on the last day of the season kept them up. Today, they can relax. Paul Williams' 17th goal of the season made it 3-0, a reminder of his major contribution to the retaining of First Division status for next year's return to the Valley.
Well, I'm so delighted for Charlton, Jim.
Yeah,
I think they play good football, and it's great to see them make it
The
again.
Valley needs First Division football, and they've got it at last.
But who's going to go down?
I don't know. I was on the M25 this morning waving to all the West Ham supporters who were speeding along. Mind you, they were going downhill at the time, but they were on their way to Everton. And they're full of hope, West Ham. It's difficult to see them getting out of trouble, though, to be honest. Forest, Liverpool and Everton today. Can't really see it, can you, Ian?
They've had a nice little spell.
Yeah, a good little spell, but you can't see them taking...
Maybe too late, Jim, I think, for them.
I don't know. It's to the wire again, isn't it? Who do you reckon?
Well, the Sheffield Wednesday Middlesbrough game, I mean, if Middlesbrough lose that one, then, of course, that's them gone, isn't it?
Yeah, but Luton are not out of the mire either, are they?
No, Luton play Norwich today. That's a tough one.
That's a toughie. So, I don't know. I think Luton might go down myself with West Ham and Newcastle.
OK. Right, well... Now, ITV have been under attack for the decision to base coverage of live football around the so-called Big Five clubs this season. But as the term ends, Arsenal and Liverpool are tussling for the title. Tottenham have managed an amazing recovery. Remember, they were bottom in November. And Everton have reached 2 Wembley finals. But Manchester United, though, are ending the season with mounting problems. A string of recent defeats means that they'll finish in the bottom half of the table. Well, last week, this book, Manchester United, The Betrayal of a Legend, was published, criticising the club on 2 main fronts. Firstly, it launches a highly personal attack on United chairman Martin Edwards. And secondly, alleges that the club's overtly commercial attitude is to the continuing detriment of the playing strength. Alan Parry has this report.
Please, attention, please. There are still reserved seats remaining for this evening's game at the ticket office.
At Old Trafford, home of Britain's biggest crowds for a quarter of a century, the houseful signs have gathered dust all season. United's decline has meant an alarming drop in attendances, and with 20 minutes to kick off against Everton, the faithful who have turned up are subdued and concerned. This revealing book blames United's failure to win the league championship for 22 years, largely on their directors, and in particular, Chief Executive Martin Edwards.
He's very hurt. He has this image and reputation in Manchester of being Mr. Moneybags, because he's very closely involved with the profit-making area of the club as Chief Executive. He spent a lot of money buying shares to follow his father to keep control of the club. He takes a handsome salary out of the club. All these things contribute to this image that the ordinary fan has of him. But at the end of the day, you've got to say about Martin Edwards is that he's a fan. He spent a lot of money to get to indulge his interest, if you like, his investment. I reckon he's got about £1 million invested in the club at the moment through buying shares. Now, OK, he takes a good salary out, and occasionally he takes a dividend on his shares. But in financial terms, he's had a poor return. He'd have done better, really, sticking his money in the building society.
United have made their own investment for the future by bringing in youngsters like 17-year-old Lee Sharp. Other young players like midfielder Russell Beardsmore, along with defender Lee Martin, have done their best, but United's results have been very disappointing. Having lost 5 of their previous 6 games, they fell behind to an early goal against Everton, Graham Sharp heading home Ian Wilson's cross. Goal scoring has been United's main problem. Mark Hughes hadn't scored in the league for 4 months, so his equaliser was long overdue. United's defence, reliable earlier in the season, has also lost confidence, and Everton clinched their first away win in the First Division for 6 months with this winner by Sharp. So United's dreadful end to the season continues, putting the board under even more pressure.
I think they've got the wherewithal to sit down and say, where are we going wrong? And I think the first conclusion they've come to is to ignore this cry for the manager's head at the moment and to say, no, Alex Ferguson was a good manager in Aberdeen. He managed Scotland well. He came down here. We like what he's done because he's laid a very good foundation at the club. He's reorganised the scouting and the coaching and everything. We'll stick by him. And I think that's the first positive conclusion that they will come to.
Which means defying the fans.
It does, but this is where they've got to be brave, because the fans will vote with their feet and the gates will go down. But then perhaps the gates have been at an artificial high in the past. Perhaps we've been living in a sort of a state of hysteria, if you like, and it's false. So they've got to sort of cut the dead wood away, if you like, and concentrate on the essentials.
So it's possible that things could get worse before they get better?
I think very likely, yes.
Well, we asked Martin Edwards for an interview on the subject, but he declined the opportunity to speak. But, Jimmy, United, for a great club, they are in some disarray at the moment, aren't they?
They are in some disarray, Ian, but I can't understand why this obsession is to win the league title. I mean, it's as though they feel it's their right to, and nobody's got that right. I mean, not even Liverpool have got that right. And I think once this obsession ceases and they turn around and say, right, let's get a team that can play football, let's get a quality side together, it might all come together. And the managers that have been there, some of them good, like Doc and Atco and people like that, should not have really got the sack. They've only been sacked because of United's obsession, and it is an obsession now, to win the championship. They've got no right to win it. So get a good side and start playing together. That's how I see it.
So you think the chairman is right to say to Alex Ferguson, OK, Alex, another couple of years in your contract, carry on?
Why not?
Aye. Get a bit of stability about it.
Why not?
OK. Right, well, we'll take a break now. In part 2, action from the lower divisions, a couple of fun items, and the goal of the season competition. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
It's the authentic Pilsner taste that makes Tennent's Pilsner good. But not that good.
When it comes to ground control, the Black & Decker Command Feed Strimmer flies low and fast. At 9,000 RPM, its tough cutting line slices through the undergrowth. Its unique command system feeding out new line for non-stop action. With two-handed control for easy lawn edging, the Strimmer puts real power in your hands. Black & Decker, tough tools for tough jobs.
Prudential Property Services can show you thousands of houses you won't see anywhere else. Uncover them with Prudential Property Mail. free from your local branch.
When friends decide to visit, but you got nothing planned.
Get the Colonel's original recipe chicken. Great taste to take home.
It's delicious tender chicken. Herbs and spices too. That brings the taste so secret.
The secret's in the taste.
Occasionally, there comes an experience so magical. There is only one thing you can do. Taste it. Nothing has the special magic of the Toblerone taste. Toblerone, taste the magic.
Big name exclusives in this week's Sunday Mirror. Pop sensation Jason Donovan, why he's driving the girls wild. And in the Sunday Mirror's great free weekly magazine, Michael Douglas, the desire and passion of Hollywood's hottest star. Gabriella Sabatini, will she be Wimbledon's sexiest champion? And this Sunday, a great free extra magazine on healthy living. Food and the famous, just what do they eat? Plus how to feed your family on £5 a day. Change up to the Big Value Sunday Mirror with 2 free colour magazines this Sunday.
Hello again. Now, I'll look at today's promotion issues, beginning in Division 2, where the second spot behind Chelsea will be filled by Manchester City, unless, of course, they lose at Bradford and Crystal Palace beat Birmingham by a substantial margin. But City could have saved all the fuss had they not thrown away a 3-goal lead last Saturday. Here's Peter Brackley.
Knowing that a win over Bournemouth, accompanied by Palace dropping points at Leicester, would have made second place a certainty for them, City began in sparkling fashion. Paul Malden's opening goal, timed at only 2 minutes. City's first half performance was rather cautious, but 8 minutes from half-time, they were 2 up. Trevor Morley, the scorer this time. A comfortable 2-goal cushion then threatened to become something of a rout. Hinchcliffe with the free kick, and Malden reacted swiftly to steer in a third for City before half-time. Surely nothing now could spoil City's day, you would think, but Bournemouth had other ideas. And with just under half an hour to go, Peter Shearer made it 3-1 to set City's nerves on edge. 10 minutes left, and Matthew Holmes from another Bishop corner scored a second for Bournemouth, and City's finger was now hovering ominously near the self-destruct button. 6 minutes into injury time, it was finally pressed. Hinchcliffe bringing down Luther Blissett, a penalty for Bournemouth. Mel Machin on the City bench simply couldn't believe it. Blissett took the kick himself, and amazingly the match was level at 3-3, and City still need a point to be certain of that First Division place next season.
City, what are you doing? If they don't go up, they'll look back on that game, Jim, I'm sure, and have nightmares. In Division 3, it's sure to be Sheffield United to accompany Wolves. Their superior goal difference will clinch it. Well, the top two met at Molineux on Tuesday, Jim, and, you know, it's nice to see, I'm sure, everybody in football, to see that Wolves are back. You know, they're now in the second division. And it was that partnership of Steve Bull and Andy Much with the cross, and there's Steve Bull with a header. Fantastic goal scoring from this player.
Well, not only Stevie Bull, but of course with Machi as well. Both have been great. But it's nice to see United back on the trail as well.
Paul Stancliffe there from Roberts Centre.
You know, two clubs with great traditions and fighting their way back up.
Tony Agana scoring there to make it 2-1. And then the equaliser from Dennison, direct from the free kick. So I suppose honours even all round. But there you are, the champions of the third division.
Yeah,
Let's hope, Jim, they keep their good players, keep Stevie Bull, keep Much, and we can see Wolves climbing back to the first division.
One would hope so. That would be the general idea, without doubt.
Right, now the fourth division. And on Tuesday night, I went to Prenton Park for another thrilling game, which saw Tranmere bounce back against Grimsby to maintain their promotion push.
Cunnington and Cockerill at the free kick. Cockerill takes it. And Grimsby have scored. Cunnington smuggled it back for Watson again. And Cunnington gets it into the middle where Gilbert is waiting and will make it 2. A disaster for Tranmere. Well, Harvey capable of picking out players from set plays. Muir! The recovery is starting. Solidly away by Lieber. Back to Harvey again, though. And it's Hughes who shoots, it's deflected and it's in! Off Lieber, I think, but Hughes will certainly claim it. The 45th game of the league season, and they still need a winner. McCarrick! They've got it!
What a magnificent fight back, and the table shows that Rotherham are up. Well done to them. And the other automatic places will be filled by Tranmere or Crewe, who meet each other today. Now it's the answer to our goal of the season competition. The trophies have arrived back on the table, and we've got to thank England manager Bobby Robson, who helped us assess the 6 finalists and choose the top 3. Now, the final half dozen were all of tremendous quality, but we were unanimous about the winner. The minor placings proved more difficult to sort out, but our combined selection produced this result. In 3rd place, Chrissy Waddle.
Good goal this as well, Sam.
It was a lovely goal.
It cleared out, nobody running, and then Chris decides to make a move and looks up, sees the keeper off his line, chips it in, all in the mud, etc. A very good goal indeed. Well played.
Yeah, high-class goal, Jim.
Yes, it was.
In 2nd place, Trevor Francis, the player-manager of Queen's Park Rangers against Charlton.
Now Trev doing himself an injury. I mean, he hadn't done himself any good at all with this one, has he? Let's be fair about it. But a great goal, nevertheless. Wonderful.
And the winner of 1st place, Alan McInally of Aston Villa.
Yeah, I don't think there was any danger of this ever being the outstanding goal of the season, Ian, because here Spinksy's punched it out and he takes on 1 player, 2 players. He's gone past the 3rd, past the 4th. He's had to beat people, he's had to run the length of the field, or 3/4 of the length. Great effort, a great goal. Well done.
Oh, it gives me great pleasure from one Scotsman to another.
Yeah, keep it in the
to present you with this goal of the season.
Thanks very much.
A really cracking goal, tremendous.
Okay,
goal.
thank you very much.
Well
indeed.
done.
Thank you. Not bad, it was the only trophy we'll win this year.
Well, actually, it wasn't your typical, I just hit it and I went in, Brian, type of goal. Can you talk us through it?
We were actually defending at the time, and Millwall had a free kick against us, and it hasn't been played deep into the box, and Big Nyes, the goalkeeper's come out and punched it, and luckily enough it's come to. I didn't get the road of it that time. It's come to me, and the defender never really tackled me, and I've managed to turn, and I've just sort of kept going, keep your head down, don't look up, don't pass it, and it worked out for me, and I evaded a couple of tackles, and then I stuck in the net, which was great, you know.
For those of you who didn't understand the McInally Jocko version, I gave mine earlier on.
Right now, the big moment for you, the viewers. Did you correctly forecast the winning order, A, C, E? If so, your card is in the cup for the trip for 2 to the European Cup final in Barcelona in 11 days' time. Now, Jim, perhaps you would do the honours, son?
We had thousands of people, and as you can see, only 10 actually got it right. And the winner is Mrs. Betsy St John. No, sorry, that's another competition.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Which one?
Yes,
Are you taking the
this
brown
is Mr. John Lane of 42 Lodge Hill Road, Selly Oak in Birmingham. There you are. There is the winning card.
Lovely.
That's it.
Okay, and a nice little trip to the final for them.
Done that well as well, yeah.
All right. Well, Bobby Robson's been a busy chap this week because he's also named the Barclays Young Eagle of the Year, who receives this handsome trophy and a Barclays share portfolio to the value of £5,000. And the winner is David Rocastle of Arsenal, who's established himself as an England regular this season, as well as being a vital member of the Gunners' title-chasing side. And Jim has matured so much this season.
He's had a great season, and the first thing you'll want to know is what is a portfolio. But and I can't help him there, so. But he has had an outstanding season, and thoroughly deserves the trophy that's being presented to him. It's a great trophy for an outstanding footballer.
Yep.
Well done, young Rocastle.
And if he continues the way he's going, Jim,
that's lovely, isn't it? That's just like my bank manager, that base, Granite. Absolutely. Same as my bank manager.
Anyway, young David will receive his award before next Wednesday's home match with Wimbledon. And Bobby Robson will now concentrate on the preparations for the next World Cup match against Poland in June. Last weekend he watched Sweden against the Poles, a game which had an amazing finish.
With a quarter of an hour to go in Stockholm, the watching Bobby Robson must have had a satisfied... Meanwhile, in Istanbul, Turkey had high hopes of causing a surprise against the Soviet Union, but they were too strong for them. Mikhailichenko scoring the only goal before half-time to enable the Soviets to take over at the top of the group.
Soviets looking good, but bad result for England, Jim, and unlucky. I mean, an extra time winner for Sweden.
Not a very good result, Shane. Hold on a sec, there you are. No, not a good result for England. One would have thought that a draw would have been the right result, but there you are. We'll get there.
Right. Now, John Toshack, Jim, going to Real Madrid. And, I mean, that, for me, it was a great move for the Tosh, the biggest club in Europe, and we wish you well, Big John.
Yes, we do, John. The pressure's on, but we've taken the challenge. That's the
now, this was the Cup Winners' Cup final, Barcelona against Sampdoria.
Yeah, interesting.
Gary Lineker playing for Barcelona, Jim. And he set up the first goal. This is Lineker here.
Turned well.
Nice little
well on
run down the line. Good cross, and Salinas there to nod that one in.
They're happy, aren't they, Sam?
Yeah. Oh, catch me if you can.
Someone's going to get injured doing that. But there you are.
This was the second goal.
It's another good run.
But look, watch on the right-hand side of your picture here, you'll see Lineker there, number 7. You would have thought the guy would have slipped it to him, eh?
Well, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have knocked it in the back of the net like him and played the hero. Well done.
Johan Cruyff, the manager, delighted with his win.
He's been more than happy.
Well, amazing, Jim. That's Gary Lineker's first ever winner's medal.
I know, that is incredible when you think of what he's achieved, but there you are. It's not a bad one to start with, is it?
Lovely. No, we've got a couple of goals for you coming up, and this one from Scotland, it really is something special.
Yeah, well,
it was Airdrie versus Falkirk, and this is the Airdrie goalkeeper with a long kick downfield. Very awkward for the defender. And looks quite simple, doesn't it, Jim?
Yeah, and there's Jimmy Holmes snuck in. Look at the ball boy, look at the ball boy. What side is he on, do you think? I wonder what side he's on. I mean, it is rather appropriate to finish with
Nobody touched the ball, really.
No, they didn't. They didn't. It's incredible. What a great goal. Great goal.
Right, now from that to what was the quickest goal that I've ever seen, and it certainly must be the quickest goal seen in television. It was a Wiltshire Senior Cup final, Jim, between Highworth and Purton. Now just watch this. David Kelly, inside left, takes it from the kick, one touch, left foot. Thank you very much.
Not a bad effort, is it?
4.5 seconds.
4.5 seconds. Nobody moved. They didn't have to bother about lining up there, did they, after that?
Both teams just stayed as they were. And the goalkeeper kicked the ball and let them got started. Now, I've never seen a quicker goal than that.
No, I haven't.
I would think that Barclay should send young David a bottle of champagne or something for that. We might have a word with them, wouldn't you?
Why not? Why not? End of the season, why not? Why not? What are you doing this summer?
Well, as you know, Jim, I'm going up to the Scottish Cup final next week, working on that. Rangers-Celtic, which should be a cracker. I see you're a Rangers man today, keeping everybody happy.
Yeah.
Then I've got a youth World Cup in Scotland, which I'm working on.
Well, you're lucky. I mean, you know, all Englishmen are sweating this summer.
Yes.
Because we don't mind losing the odd game of football to Scotland or the odd game of rugby to Wales, but we've got the Ashes against Australia, Shane.
OK. Remember John O'Neill's testimonial at Norwich on Monday night? Go there and see it.
We'll see you next season.
Bye.